And welcome everybody to a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. We're live, and hopefully all of you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Charles Tendell is here with us. He survived the tornado, and and with the wide eyes, and yeah, we had a good weekend. Let's see. Oh yes, the sandwich. Yes, I see the sandwich. Was it turkey? I can't tell. It's something.
Chicken.
Chicken. Okay, close. Chicken, turkey. Is there at least bacon and tomato on it? No.
Beer.
And I didn't get to see Godzilla, but I saw X-Men.
I went and saw X-Men too.
All right. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you stay to the very end and saw the little
4
mystery thing?
minutes.
Yeah. My buddy David he's the comic book geek.
Who was the blue guy at the end? That's something.
He explained it to me. It's Apocalypse.
That's his name, Apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know when to explain.
Not because anybody that's watching the live feed needs to know that spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we should give him a spoiler. All right. Okay. Well, we'll be going live in about 4 minutes. So sit back, relax, everybody, enjoy the show, and we'll be starting it momentarily. What's with the wide eyes?
That's my picture now.
Somebody got shocked or something. I guess when it gets dark. Oh, I guess when it gets dark in there, we'll get to see you. You look better than a silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're disguised. All you do is to synthesize your voice now. I don't want to be recognized.
3 minutes until showtime.
Dude.
Okay.
Actually, when are we gonna get your camera working? Whatever happened to that?
Well, we should try to focus on it. I don't know if we're going to do it this week, because this week's kind of crazy, but we'll try. We should get it working. Really do need to get it working. What does your T-shirt say? Need a high five?
Need a high. For some people, just need a high five
in the face.
I like that.
Some people just need a high five in the face.
Are you watching the video, Ryan?
Oh no, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, you can if you want to. But if you do, actually, you probably shouldn't because we'll get a feedback loop. Yeah, don't watch it.
That was what I was worried about,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
It's funny because I had to reset up the broadcaster on the MacBook Pro.
2 minutes. Showtime.
The installation process didn't give me any problems like it did last time. Last time it was like made me mad. Like I had to figure out a way to get it to work properly, but this time it worked like a champ. I don't know what's going on with yours.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out and see what goes on.
Oh, and to see Ben took over for me on the Jeans show, that was good.
Yes, yeah, he did. Well, we have Ben now as a backup, but oh, there's Addison.
Do you know
1 minute until showtime.
Do I know what?
On those days, do you ever have that opportunity where it's like your wife asks you what it is you want for dinner, and you just know, and then you just know. I wanted a rotisserie chicken sandwich. That's what I wanted, and I'm like, it's so satisfying.
Do you prefer working at home or at the office? Are we going to see more of you at home or more at the office now?
Well, it just depends on how I feel. We've been running at full throttle all day, and I've been in the office all day, and I wanted to get out of there for a little bit. So, and I don't have time to, like, if I leave the office, typically I do it from the office because I don't have time to do anything else. Like, work day ends, and now it's prep for Computer America time, and then it's...
All right, cool. All right, here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, certified ethical hacker, joking on his pasta salad, Charles Tendell.
Hey, Charles. All right. So, how was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good. It was relaxing. I finished my car a little bit. You know,
Good,
went to the movies. It was good.
You went to see the X-Men. I know. Yeah, you mentioned.
I did. It was actually a pretty good movie. I mean, it was. I love time travel paradoxes.
Yeah.
You know,
it was good.
It always happens.
I enjoyed the movie, and again, no spoilers here, but make sure you stay to the very end of the credits, you know, because there's something that happens at the very, very end. That always happens with Marvel movies, you know. So, you know, I didn't catch Stan. You know, he usually makes a cameo. Did you see him? I missed him. I missed his cameo if he was in there. I didn't see him this time. He makes in every Marvel movie. He makes an appearance, but I didn't catch him here this time.
Wasn't he the security guard in this one?
No, that was the last
one.
one.
Oh no, that was the Captain America. He was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He says, "I am so in trouble," you know. But no, I didn't catch him. Anyway, welcome into it's a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. Hopefully, all of you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and barbecued and cooked out and all the things that people traditionally do on on holiday weekends and with family and friends. And now, let's see. So we saw the movie. Let's see, what else did we do? Not much else. It's been kind of a quiet weekend. Intentionally, we're just trying to keep things quiet, but I think it's going to be a good week, and we got some great guests lined up. Now, one of the things that we want to introduce to you is a new segment here in Computer America. Our Patricia Reichel is no longer going to be doing the London Minute. Sorry about that. It was great when it ran. Yeah, I know. But we wish her the best and in her endeavors. And she says she's going to keep listening in. Yeah, she's now the voice of Avast, the UK. You can listen to that. But now we have Marty Winston, who is the editor of the News Tip Bulletin. And Marty is going to be doing not one but two brand new News Tip Bulletins every week. So we're going to have one in the first hour and one in the second hour. We'll have two new News Tips Bulletins. We'll play them throughout the week. And then the next week we'll have two more, and we'll continue to two more. And he's going to do all kinds of different reviews of products and services. And it's going to be very interesting. And we hope that you like it. And he does a really good job. And we'll see how that goes, but we are looking forward to it. And we got two new ones tonight. Okay, one of them is going to be from AT&T. They have the Unite Pro that creates a hotspot using a cellular technology. It's one of the things we're talking about, and he'll be doing that in the first hour. Okay, anything else that you want to mention before we get started, Charles?
Of course, you would ask me that.
Yes, of course, I know that. By the way, let me just give out the numbers to call. If you want to reach us or have a comment or suggestion for us or our guests, you can call us at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room from our homepage. Under the first pull-down menu, or there's a button there. It says chat room/video. Just click that. You'll see the chat room. You put in a username. That's the name you'll be known by. When you go in there, click the sign-in button, and your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux, they all work will move you into the Computer America chat room. And sharing that same page is our live Computer America video streaming page. You can watch us live now. And the live Computer America video streaming page is brought to you by Other World Computing. That's quality products, expert support since 1988. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary. And if you have any needs for any Apple product, you're looking for memory, for your current Mac or for a legacy Mac. You're looking for portable batteries for your replacements. A Mac anywhere from 1998 up to the current date, with installation videos to watch. They're very, very clear. They even have their own YouTube channel. You can visit them at www.macsales.com. Please visit them. You'll be very happy that you did, especially with that expert support. I know Charles goes there. I go there whenever looking for Mac or Apple products. They have some of the best in town, some of the best prices. You'll be very happy that you check them out at macsales, macsales.com. That's Otherworld Computing.
You know what I always wonder, actually. Like I know I had asked you if we got discounts or anything, or we got any additional stuff out there that we could tell people about, because I need another charger.
Yep, I'm going. You already have enough cars as it is. You want a Dodge Charger? They don't have Dodge Chargers.
Actually, if they sell a Dodge Charger on macsales.com, sign me up. I need them to use the Computer America credit card.
Okay.
We'll check one, Greg? I'll buy them 2 of them.
I'll tell you. We'll check it out. We'll get back to you on that.
Well, I need another charger for my MacBook Pro.
Okay. Well, all right.
Because I don't like unplugging it from the office, and I just want to have one in my bag that stays with it all the time.
He called me today, as a matter of fact, but I missed his call because I was
horrible.
Doing some things. But I will get back to him, and we'll find that for you. In the meantime, I think that we're ready to introduce our guests. So let's do so now. Now, our guest this hour is from FileMaker, and FileMaker's been around for a very long time. FileMaker is a database manager that's been around, as I said, a long time, and they keep up with the times because the FileMaker platform is now a line of products that work together across iPad, iPhone, Windows, Mac, and the web to streamline your business. You can easily manage your customer data, track assets, create invoices, run reports, and so much more. Here to explain how you can use FileMaker to make your life a more productive one is Ryan Rosenberg. Ryan is the Vice President of Marketing and Services for FileMaker, which is a subsidiary of Apple. Ryan's been on the show many, many times in the past, so I'll say, Ryan, welcome back into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing great, Craig and Charles.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while since you've been on the show, and so certainly welcoming you back, Ryan. Now, give us a little bit of an update. What's going on with, because it's been, I think the last time you were here was 2009, so it's been a while since you've been here. So give us an update. What's going on with FileMaker and the FileMaker platform?
Well, 20 million, that's a good number. We've passed the 20 million mark in terms of how many times people have purchased a copy of FileMaker.
Congratulations.
A million is another number. That's a pretty good one to throw out there. We've passed the 1 million mark in terms of the number of people who have downloaded our version of FileMaker for iPad and the iPhone. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, no, congratulations. Absolutely. So give us an overview about FileMaker itself. I called it a database manager. Was I understating it or overstating it? But why don't you tell us a little bit about FileMaker and what it does?
It's a manager of awesome.
Sure.
What's wrong with you?
It's a manager of what, did you say?
Awesome.
Of awesome.
Awesome, yes, it is. Well, you know what, it depends on what you call awesome. You know, what I call awesome is when you can make computers do what you want them to do, and that's what FileMaker is all about. You know, we just had Memorial Day, and everyone's DIYing at the home, right? Mm-hmm. Well, FileMaker gives people a chance to DIY, do it yourself, at business. So let's say you have something that you need to get done in your business, like, I don't know, manage your inventory, and you can't find the application that does that perfectly for you. You wish that it would work the way your business works, because your business is special. Everyone's business is special. Mm-hmm. And the question is, how do you do that? Do you have to hire a programmer? Do you have to go to college for 4 years and become a programmer? Or you can get a product like FileMaker, and FileMaker will allow you to create the application or the solution you want and run it on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Mac, your Windows machine, even in a browser, and be able to build the application that you had in mind.
All right, now listen. I watched the introductory video that's up on on the FileMaker.com website, and I was very impressed with the overview. But I have to ask you, and because all the applications that I saw looked extremely impressive, and you showed everyday companies and that would do this, little companies, large companies. But here's what I want to ask: can the average user create those kinds of database solutions you show with all the graphics, or do you need to hire someone who can create and import and maintain a database like that? I mean, is this for anyone without any knowledge? I mean, how complex is it to create something like that, Ryan?
Well, I call the person who wants to use FileMaker someone I call a tech explorer. They love to explore technology. They're the type of person that will maybe get into Excel, and rather than just filling in a few numbers in Excel, maybe they'll do some more advanced calculations, or they'll use a macro or something. If you're that type of person, then you're the type of person that can use FileMaker.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, or let's say you're the type of person who just imports a photo into iPhoto. Okay, maybe not. But you're the person that wants to really get in and edit that photo, and you love working with the photos, or you love creating your home movies, and you're always fiddling around with the home movie software. You're the type of person that would be successful with FileMaker.
So, on average, if someone wants to get their business up and running on FileMaker, and I guess it all depends how much information they have to bring in, or if it's all in folders, how they have to transfer it over. Before they even do that, they have to create the database, or do you offer templates that they can use to and then modify to their use, or do they all have to start with a blank slate?
No, we offer templates. We've done research over all the many years of FileMaker's usage, and we've come up with the 16 most common uses that people will use a product like FileMaker in a business, and every one of those use cases, whether it's managing inventory or contacts or managing your digital assets, photos, other types of things, or managing your projects, all those things are included in templates in FileMaker. We call them starter solutions because they're starting point of your solution. You can take one of those and build it out. Now, I would say that with FileMaker, no one just buys FileMaker. It's all about the task. People that come to FileMaker have a specific problem in mind. They're trying to manage a project with their team, and it's just breaking down. They're emailing a spreadsheet to somebody. That person is losing the spreadsheet. They're not filling it in. They're mailing it back. They have to copy and paste. There's a paper form that someone's filling in. Someone's having to double enter that. When that sort of situation hits you over the head and you say, we can't go on like this anymore, that's when FileMaker comes in. Okay, so let's say you're in a situation like that, and you realize you've got to do something, and I go and I buy the FileMaker Pro box, or I buy whatever it is that's FileMaker. Then how much time am I going to is it going to take for me to get to where I need to be with that situation in mind? I mean, well, typically, how long does it take to get everything up and running? Well, it depends on how complex the situation is, but if you have something pretty straightforward, it can be surprisingly quick. Let's say, for example, I'll take a very simple case. You have a spreadsheet and you're managing your inventory for your business. And oh my gosh, that spreadsheet is now 25 pages long and you just can't handle it anymore. You could take that spreadsheet and drag it over on top of FileMaker, and it would import the whole thing in one step and build a solution for you on the fly. It would have a list like a spreadsheet view, but it'll also have forms that would build, and you could kind of flip through and use those forms. Those forms can now be instantly accessed on an iPad or an iPhone, and you can even share them with other people. Now, of course, that's a real starting point. You're probably going to want to add your own fields of information. You're going to want to modify the forms by dragging them around. You may even want to add new forms. So there'll be work to be done, but you can get an immediate benefit right away by importing information you already have into FileMaker. So let's say you start off with that, and you do this simple drag, and it's doing all that. Can I continue doing what I'm doing with the old way, but now use it with the FileMaker, and then as I continue to use it, I can make modifications to it and not affect anything, or does it have to be complete before I use it? Well, typically, again, let's go back to that inventory example, because that's very common, by the way, common use case. Typically, once people put their inventory into FileMaker, then they'll continue to use FileMaker to manage it. Now, sometimes people say, no, I still need to keep spreadsheets on the site, of course. So then what you can do is keep updating your spreadsheets and then import them into FileMaker, adding them in. Import the new lines from the spreadsheet into FileMaker, add it in, and keep building up your information until you're ready to cut over entirely. So it is possible to operate in both worlds. All right. But usually people are looking to move on. They're looking to try to take that process that's bothering them and improve it. Right. But and that's great, and I'm glad to hear that. But I guess what I was really saying is, once I've imported the spreadsheets and I'm happy with that, then can I continue to add more things, like maybe pictures, or in other words, continue to work with everything that I moved over, but continuing to enhance it and adding new features. So when people out in the field will see a new button, let's say, appear, and they'll say, "Oh, what is this?" And you can explain to them. Now you can see the item. I mean, you can continue to modify FileMaker without having to go back and starting from the beginning again. Is that correct? Yeah, and that's the fun of it. I mean, I was over at a business that's local here that runs everything on FileMaker. It's a company that does stringed instruments. You know, they have guitars, they have violins, all sorts of things like that. They sell them, they repair them. It's a small business, and they run their business on FileMaker. Now, if they bought a program from someone, like an application to run that business, they could do it. But then the only time they're going to get any new features, let's say they want a new feature because they're going to offer classes in the store, is they have to wait till that company comes up with a new edition of their application.
Right.
With FileMaker, they can just add it in whenever they're ready. You know what? You want to add a new screen to track classes? Great. Hey, you want to link that screen to all your existing customers because they're probably the ones going to the guitar classes? Great. You can just link up that information. So yeah, the fun of FileMaker and the value of FileMaker is the fact that you can change it. You can make that solution yours and change it as often as you need to.
I see. That's really, really nice. I like that. So would you say that's one of the secrets of FileMaker's appeal, let's say to small and medium-sized business users, as well as work groups with large companies?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest appeal is that it's easy to use. You don't need to be a programmer to create the custom solution that you need to run your business. The second real appeal is the ability to evolve it. I think a third appeal, especially these days, is the ability to get your information onto lots of different things, especially on iPad or iPhone. Everybody wants to deploy things like the iPad or the iPhone, and they want to be able to use their information there, but they also want it to be on their, let's say, their desktop computer. Linking all that up can be very difficult, but with FileMaker, it happens pretty much automatically.
Now, is FileMaker inherently an Apple-based product? Is it a Windows-based product, or is it really platform-independent? I mean, what platforms?
It runs across a Windows, Mac. It runs across iPad, iPhone, and also web browsers. So we let people have a choice depending on what type of environment they have. And there are people that do this, you can have them all. Why not? Why choose? I'll have a Windows machine over here, a Mac over here, I'll run it in the browser over here, and an iPad, iPhone, and I'm going to share all the information at the same time on all of those devices. You can do that with FileMaker.
Now, you mentioned the web, so and I know you recently announced a new database web innovation called WebDirect. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, so WebDirect, FileMaker WebDirect, is a feature in FileMaker Server. We have a server product that you can deploy that allows you to take the solutions that you build and be able to project them out through a web browser. So maybe, for example, you've got a little sales application and you've got mobile salespeople that are going to be out on the road, and they might want to, from their hotel room, let's say, check some information. They could do that through the web browser, or even check it through their laptop while they're sitting in the coffee shop. Another good example there would be maybe you've got your business and you're running some things on FileMaker, but maybe you have some business partners. I was just talking to a company the other day. They help companies. They do tours, so they'll take tours from really big names like the Rolling Stones. Even they worked with them, and they help them to plan their tours. Okay, and they've got people scattered to do this all over the country here, and they somehow need to tie all those people together. Well, there's different ways to do that in FileMaker, but one way to do that is to set up a web page, and then people can all work together on that web page.
All right. So, and again, all you need is a standard web browser to access the database.
That's right. So you create your solution, you copy it up to a FileMaker server, and then you point your web browser to that server, and away you go. You're accessing your information through the browser, through the web.
And so you can do this anywhere there's an internet connection, and you're all set. Now, does it require any? Is it a particular browser? Does it require Safari or Firefox? I mean, is it browser independent?
Yeah, it's browser independent. I mean, there's a range of browsers that we support, and IE and Safari and Chrome and all that.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like you're fairly platform independent, and I realize you're an Apple company, so I guess you're going to primarily support the iOS operating system. That's your main tablet, and smartphones are going to be iOS based.
Right. So on the mobile devices, on iOS, on iPad and iPhone, we really focus on those. Our goal is to be, the absolute best on those. And in fact, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, with over 1 million people downloading FileMaker for FileMaker Go, we call it, for
Mhm.
iPad and iPhone. That's free, by the way. You can get our FileMaker Go for the iPad or iPhone for free. You download it, and that's what you use to access your FileMaker solutions. And we really emphasize we're really investing heavily to make sure that we have the absolute best solution for the iPad or the iPhone.
Okay. Now, so basically it's iOS. So any plans to support other things like the Android platform or some of the other tablets out there? Or is FileMaker going to be primarily iOS setup?
Well, we'll always make our biggest effort on the Apple mobile platform there, but over time, there's no telling what we might do.
Okay.
Oh man, no love for the Android. I mean, why is that exactly? I mean, there are just as many Android-powered tablets on the market and smartphones as there are iOS devices. I mean, there's why the decision not to go on the Android platform?
Well, many reasons, but I'd say one is just it's customer demand. I mean, there's a lot of mobile devices out there, but we focus on business and how they're used in business. And what our customers are telling us is they really want us to do a great job on iPad and iPhone, and so that's where we put our energy and making sure that we have great solutions for that. Again, we have other technologies that we invest in to help make broad access possible, but our real emphasis on iPad or iPhone and doing the best possible job there.
Okay. Well, if there was a secret sauce to dominating the iOS database market, what would that be?
Well, again, I think it does start with ease of use. I mean, if you think about the challenge that people have, you want to create the solution for the iPad, right? Give you an example, real-world example. We have a number of art galleries that work with us. And, if you've ever walked in an art gallery and you want to buy a piece of art, what do? They grab you by the arm and you look at the art and they drag you to the back away from the art you want to buy. And they have a computer back there and you look at your art and they have information about the artist and all that. They'd like to bring that right up to where the customer is. So what they're doing is creating a solution for the iPad. And so the idea is that the information is all entered in on a computer in the back office there, but someone can walk right up to you. You can be looking at the art, and they can bring up information about the cost, the artist, all sorts of information that people want to know right there at the iPad at the same time. Now, there's not a solution you can buy for that, but how would you create that if you were an art gallery owner? You're probably not a programmer. In fact, you're almost certainly not a programmer. You probably don't want to spend a ton of money hiring a programmer, but you want to create it yourself. Well, that's where FileMaker comes in. If you take the information, you mentioned images, just import them onto your desktop computer or your laptop, and then be able to access that information over the iPad or the iPhone right while you're talking to a customer. That's the sort of thing that regular non-programmers can do with FileMaker, and people do this all the time.
Well, okay, so now I've heard, from what I'm getting here, I've heard a lot of your, the third-party developers who are now developing solutions for customers once actual users of your software. So is developing FileMaker solutions for users a viable career, would you say?
Yes, it is. And you say, how does that fit with, being easy to use? Well, what happens is that people get to a certain point. So they start off with FileMaker, create an initial solution, like let's take this art gallery one as an example, and it's working for them. Oh, it's great. But boy, now I want to really take it farther. I want all sorts of business rules in there, and I want to have lots of tables of information all linked up, and I want to pull information from systems. I want to link it up with my MySQL database that I've got connected to my website. I want to do all this stuff. Well, at some point, people may run out of their own abilities. FileMaker is very powerful as well as easy to use, and that's where they'll turn to one of our. We have over 1,000 consulting firms around the world who are dedicated to doing FileMaker work, and they can come in right at the beginning and advise someone who's getting started. They could even do the work if they wanted, but quite often they're brought in later when people are trying to expand, when they get a whole big team, when they want to start putting in servers and networking those servers. That's where you can get some help.
Okay, Charles, it sounds like you're busting at the seam for something. That you have a question or no?
No, I actually didn't. I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm the implementations of FileMaker it's kind of endless, and it seems like you've given everybody a very simple tool to be able to create these things for it. I mean, aren't you a little worried that somebody's? I mean, it sounds like we can use FileMaker to kind of script it, and it's open and everything else. But I mean, what about your competitors who are coming in and saying, "Well, we can do the exact same thing with this snap-in"? You know, what doesn't that worry you a little bit?
Well, again, one of our big competitors are apps or applications, and I would say that there's lots and lots of apps out there. And if a friend of mine comes to me, Charles, you're my friend. If you want to ask me what you should do, I say go look at apps. Absolutely, let's start there. Look and try to find the app that works for you. And if you find it and it's a reasonable price, and that's important, buy it by all means. But if you can't find what you're looking for, if you need something that's more custom to you, and you don't want to hire a programmer, and you're not a programmer yourself, well then I say take a good look at FileMaker. If your problem involves managing information, putting up forms, sharing that information with other people, with the rest of your team, then I would say go ahead and look at FileMaker. I don't worry that much about competition. I mean, we always pay attention to it, but I know that with our years and years and years of experience, with our industry-leading ease of use, I know there's nothing like FileMaker. And so we've just seen the success over the years, and I'm confident if we keep doing our good job and building out FileMaker to make it even better, we'll stay on top.
Well, the way you described is that you could literally take a spreadsheet and just drag it over to the FileMaker icon, and it will. I mean, it sounds to me like it's very simple. I mean, and it will import everything and set everything up for you, and then I guess you can tweak it, right? And you say, I like that, but I want this over here, or I want this. Or I assume it's very visual to work with FileMaker, so you can get it. So
it is very visual. It's form-based, which people are very comfortable with. I say the 3 starting points people typically use. One is what you just said. They take a spreadsheet of information, drag it over, and drop it on, and then they start working with it from there. Mm-hmm. Another, as you mentioned earlier, are those 16 starter solutions. A third way is they start with a form. This is very common. Over the years, the paperless office, we've all talked about the paperless office, mm-hmm. but in fact, there's still paper everywhere. And a lot of that paper is forms, and people enter them. And you know what they do after they enter them?
What?
Like they fill in the form? They re-enter it. Most paper forms end up getting typed in again. And
Why?
Again, sometimes. And I don't call that the use of paper. I call that the abuse of paper. And so the question is, how can you migrate away? How can you use all this wonderful technology to be able to fix that? And so that's another place people often start with, is they go, we've got to get away from these paper forms. We've got to get them online. We want to see them on our computer. We want to be able to route them around. And we're really tired of re-entering the data over and over and over again.
And FileMaker will allow them to do that, is what you're saying. Get rid of the paper. They can keep
That's
right. They
right.
can do it side by side, and then once they're kind of comfortable, say, we really don't need to do this anymore. We've got the backups. We've got it. It's working, and now it's just we're being redundant. We're doing the same thing over and over again, repeating ourselves. Basically, then they can kind of wean themselves off and just go with FileMaker all out, and that's typically what happens.
Yeah, typically, again, no one people don't replace all the paper they have, but they have a particular process which is bothering them. An example might be a medical office. You're coming in, you're filling in this form, and for the patient, then you're having to enter that information in somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So what they will do is to say, gosh, we'd love to not just store the paper in a file. We'd like to get it online. We'd like to store it electronically. And so someone will sit down with FileMaker, and what they'll do is they'll use the tools. It's very visual, like you said. Mm-hmm. They'll create fields of information, and they'll drag those out onto what we call a layout. It looks like a form. And then they'll keep dragging them around until it looks like the paper form. And they can add, if the paper form has a line and box around, like a box to highlight 4 or 5 different fields, they'll draw a box to highlight those fields. So you can make it look just like your paper form. It's a good transition thing. That way when you use the form on the computer, you'll feel comfortable. You're just kind of moving off the paper onto the computer.
My wife went to a doctor's office. She had to fill out 8 pages while sitting in the waiting room. Wouldn't it be nice if they would just say, and hand her a tablet and say, here, just click up with the things that you need, and
Wasn't they do at my doctor's office?
yeah, and not have to do that anymore, rather than having, because what they're going to do, they're going to have to take all that information and feed it into the computer anyway. Wouldn't it be nice to just, get rid of all that paper? I'll tell you what, we're up against the bottom of the hour break, Ryan, and we're going to continue on. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. We're talking to Ryan Rosenberg of FileMaker. We will be right back with him after this. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hello, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of the Netgear AT&T Unite Pro. I have to say, the idea of a Wi-Fi hotspot based on a cell service connection did not at first seem to be a great idea. Then our AT&T Share plan bumped us up to 10 gigabytes per month. And at the same time, we got pitched by the PR agency to review their smartphone-size AT&T Unite Pro device built by Netgear. A few things came to mind. We can use it on car trips to connect our tablets, when walking in cities to keep Wi-Fi searches from draining our handset batteries. And I can use it at trade shows when casino lobby connections are a gamble. The Unite Pro is a dual band unit, dual Wi-Fi bands. So higher bandwidth options are available than with many single band units, and it supports connections among up to 15 devices. Our biggest challenge was a screwy touchscreen. Using a fine point stylus, a rubber stylus, and fingertips. It took more than 150 keystrokes to get the 18 characters we wanted to appear, but user entry is rare with this device. Its internal battery means that you can connect its micro USB charging port to a car's USB adapted 12-volt plug, and it can keep running after you turn the car off. Bottom line, the Netgear AT&T Unite Pro gives us high Wi-Fi bandwidth for lots of gear in places that are otherwise Wi-Fi deprived. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Wow. Thanks, Marty.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just getting smarter every time those play. So I'm still kind of adjusting to them. I'm used to Patricia, but it's okay.
It's the same length too, by the way.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It seems longer.
No, it isn't. And not only that, the next one's even shorter by about 20 seconds. So no.
Ah, okay. All right.
It's the same length as Patricia's.
Okay. I will believe you. I will believe you. Anyway, welcome back to the Computer America Show. Craig, the first hour of the Computer America Show. Craig and I are talking to FileMaker. Is it FileMaker Pro or just FileMaker?
It's FileMaker Pro, and we're talking to Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, exactly. So, I'm sorry, your question was to Ryan Rosenberg?
Well, sure.
Oh.
Ryan, what are the different versions for FileMaker? Is there a FileMaker Pro or just FileMaker Basic? What's up there?
So FileMaker Pro is the kind of core of it all. It's the tool that you get to create the solution that you have in mind, and also it'll run it on Mac or Windows. You don't have to buy a separate version. You know, the same version will run on Mac or Windows, so you can just get it and put it where you want to run it. Then there's another version that is for the iPad and iPhone. It's called FileMaker Go. Again, it's free. You download it. Now you can run what you create on the iPad or the iPhone. Then there's a server. And server is good when you start getting up to some larger groups. If you have 1 or 2 people, you can just network the FileMakers together. You don't need maybe a server. You might want one, but you don't have to have it. But as you start getting into a larger group, or if you want to push information out through the browser, then you get the FileMaker server, and you can put that in your own location. Or, by the way, there are some companies that will host the FileMaker server for a fee up in the cloud for you, and you can put your FileMaker data and your server up in the cloud and keep your information there and get to it from anywhere.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, you said you were mostly geared toward enterprises, but, you know, mom and pop shops all the way up to, what's the largest implementation we can have with FileMaker?
Well, you know, you could have hundreds of people connected to the same server all at once, and we'd see that reasonably often. I wouldn't say it's our most common use case, and as you say, we do start small and grow, and that's one of the nice things about FileMaker. But we just finished a story up on our website about an electric company that does electric projects here in the West Coast, and they have a ton of people on FileMaker. Another one we just finished is a company that goes out and works on sites where they have like oil and gas. And they have 100 people up on iPads going out with FileMaker, and so there's a lot of different use cases where you have into the hundreds. But I'd say the most common use of FileMaker is a lot smaller than that. You might have 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 people maybe.
Okay.
All right. Well, now, but we're never. Look, we're not going to, the paperless offices, I keep saying this, is the paperless office is about as realistic as the paperless bathroom. I mean, it's never going to happen, but, but the point is...
You saying you don't know how to use the 3 seashells, Craig?
Yeah, the 3 seashells. But it's getting a lot better. So I guess, I know you're trying to get people to get closer to that. So why do you think it hasn't become a reality for more of us?
Well, again, the goal, you're right, the goal isn't to replace paper, as I said earlier. It's to stop abusing it and using it for everything, right? I mean, there are places for paper and there are places for not. But, why hasn't paper been used? Well, I mean, by the way, it has its advantage. One thing that's cool about paper is it's very mobile. You can take it wherever you want, right? It's very easy. It's lightweight. One of the things is that, certain scenarios weren't appropriate to put on a computer. Again, let's say you have a clipboard scenario and you're kind of going up and down. You're maybe going out on the street and you're asking people some survey type questions. You're going to have a laptop with you. But the nice thing is now these days with tablets, you could put that same form on a tablet and get rid of the paper and just enter it directly on a tablet at the beginning and not have to re-enter the information. So one thing that's really changing is tablets. They're making it a lot easier to replace paper. And then there's tools like FileMaker that are making it ever easier to do it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. As our friend used to say,
Paper. Have you ever seen paper? Look at it.
It's paper.
Exactly. But look, the mobile device you think is key to what you're doing here. I mean, people. The idea here is you say paper is light, it's weight. Yeah, but so is your smartphone today. Smartphones are light, and you can carry them around everywhere.
And there's things that paper can't do. Try taking a picture with your piece of paper, a photo. It's not going to work. Try scanning a barcode with your piece of paper. That's not going to work either.
No.
So with a tablet or a phone, you can do all those things, and you can do them all in the same place. We have one great story where we have a company. We have case studies on all this on our website. There are even videos on some of these. Anyway, there's a company that goes around and puts up those posters that you see in a coffee shop or in a barber shop or whatever that are advertising upcoming shows, upcoming movies, upcoming events. You know, you see those posters. Someone has to put those up. Well, these are the guys that do it. And part of their job after they put these posters up is they have to record that the poster's up so they can get paid. They tell the company that's advertising, hey, the poster's up. And they used to take a digital camera along with them, take pictures of all those posters, and then have to fill in separately on paper information about I visited this site, they let me put it up, if they ran me out of the shop with a hatchet, you know, and say what happened. And they had to go back to the office and try to assemble all this information, digital photos, type it all in. What they do now is they go around with iPhones, or I think it's either an iPhone or iPod Touch, I'm not sure which, and they have their route right on the iPod. They go around, they mark off what they're doing, they take pictures of the right there in the location, right on the iPad, and it's all assembled together. They take what used to be hours of assembly time, they go back to the office, they put it on the main computer, and they're done, just like that. And so that's a good example of taking what was a paper process and a camera process and information and scattered all over, and they brought it all together, and it runs very seamlessly. And we have that story up on our website.
Exactly. So are there any particular, I know you talked some examples, can you hone it down to certain business processes that best lend themselves to paper replacement?
Yeah, so I did a study on that. I looked at what our customers were using paper for, and one of the things that really surprised me was that, you know, paper replacement was that it wasn't just the road warrior scenarios. I thought when we did the research, oh, we're going to see, you know, field data collection and field surveys. We're going to see work tickets. You know, we're going to see things like that. You know, mobile salesperson. But you know, what we saw is a lot of stuff that happens also on site. Project management, for example. You have people walking around, they're going from place to place, visiting people. They may be in the same building, but they're visiting, you know, different people, and they're having to capture the update on the status. You know, maybe it's a company that's doing print, you know, a print company, they're doing print and publishing, or maybe it's and they're a really good example would be one of those marketing communication companies that's doing projects. They have lots of projects coming in, and someone's running around the building getting, hey, Joe, you finished your part? Jane, you finished your part? All that. Well, that sort of thing people are trying to move on to tablets right now, and they're trying to automate themselves with that. And it's tricky because not only is it got to run on a tablet, but probably they have to get to that information on a desktop somewhere too. And so a lot of the opportunities to move off paper are actually inside the building, not just out there on the road.
Okay, so when you surveyed customers, you found out that the people that are using your mobile solutions, you found that 51% involved were involved replacing
paper replacement.
Yeah. Was that a surprise?
A little bit. I mean, I knew that a lot of our customers were adopting mobile devices, and particularly the iPad and the iPhone, and they were using them in business. We heard that from them. They liked our product, but I wasn't sure exactly how they were using it. And so, you know, when I surveyed, I mean, the number one thing they were using these mobile devices for was to access contacts, you know, client information, customer information, members. They were doing inventory management on there. They were issuing quotes and estimates on there. I mentioned project management. There was a lot of things that were pretty you'd expect. Now, there were some things, again, that you maybe would have more on mobile devices. For example, there were a lot of product catalogs and price lists that popped up. Okay, that makes sense. I'm out there with a customer. I may want to show them the price list. I may not want to have that on paper, right? And so I would prefer to have that on a mobile device so I can just pull it out and have it there in a minute. So there were some mobile use cases, but a lot of just regular business processes. People want to put them on an iPad. They want to put them on an iPhone.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. So let's talk about a little bit of what kind of what the payback is. You know, the return on investment might be with companies that decide to replace their paper-based processes using FileMaker. Any estimate on that?
Know, it's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really varies. You know, one case is a company that we have this is a really nice video too. It's a company called Seabreeze Farms. They're located near Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
They've automated. It's a really fun business. You know, they have a restaurant. They make artisan cheese. They manage the cows. You know, they do it all. Like, talk about the whole production. I mean, they start with the cow, and you go in the restaurant, and they serve you the food. It's really end to end. It's all organic.
Wait, you start with the cow? Like, you pick your cow?
No, but I mean, they own, like, you know how a business might be a restaurant, and another business might create cheese, and another business might raise cows and milk them. They have the cows, and they milk them, and they make the cheese, and they have a butcher, and they do it all, and then they serve these really amazing meals. So they bring it together, and they wanted to use something to kind of manage all that end to end. As I've mentioned earlier, that's a unique business. I don't think there's a manage the cheese production, manage the cows, manage the restaurant application out there. There's nothing that does all that. And so they got FileMaker, and they created a solution for themselves. And their estimate is that based on FileMaker, they've become 3 to 4 times more productive. And the way they would translate that is they don't have to hire staff. You know, in other words, rather than having to hire a bunch of staff to do all these things, they can use FileMaker, keep the staff low, and make their staff more productive. And there's some real other benefits too. You know, they're doing a better job taking care of the cattle, for example. If they go out and they're having a cow that becomes pregnant and is going to have a calf, and they mismanage the feed, they mismanage the medical treatment, there are some serious consequences to that. And by making sure they have all their information about that animal at their fingertips on an iPad, they don't have those consequences either. And I don't know how to quantify that, but it's pretty valuable to their business. So in general, businesses that adopt our software, businesses that create their own solutions, find returns in the multiples, many multiples.
So, well, at least you have me worried there, because I don't want to look at the cow and say that's one I want to eat. You know, I couldn't handle.
That's what I was thinking. It was like that one there.
You know,
bring them over. We'll carve out what I want, and we can ride the rest home.
So the cows, it's the byproduct of the cows. In other words, the cheese, the milk, that type of thing.
Yeah. So again, you know, but I think this is done all over the world, really. If you have a small business, what you're doing is you're looking to try to be unique, right? You're trying to have your angle, your type of business, and you know, we're the software that enables these small businesses to be unique, but to focus on what they want to do, not to have to manage all that stuff. You know, we help them create the solutions that manage the business, but to allow them to be unique. I once met an architect who uses our software, and he specializes in pouring concrete, so projects that involve a lot of concrete. Well, why does he do that? Because he doesn't want to be like every other architect. He has his angle, his niche, and he needed a solution that would work for him. So that's a really good example of small businesses typically want to be unique. They want their own angle on things, and we help them to do it.
Well, okay, so you've named a couple of interesting examples of and creative examples of how people are using, you know, mobile to replace paper-based products, which is interesting. Any other benefits a business can realize from mobilizing its workforce? You know, like time cost savings?
Oh, yeah, sure. For one thing, that you can improve the customer service, right? I mean, if you think about the scenario where you're out there, here's an example. One of our customers, this is a large customer. They're a Fortune 500 actually, and they send their sales staff into dentist offices and pets, vets and things like that, and they sell them all the equipment. So when you go to the dentist next time, the equipment probably was bought through this company called Henry Schein. Anyway, they were delivering all this information to all the doctors on paper, right? So the doctor would ask for information about a particular new product, and they'd give them paper. Well, the trunks of the cars are only so big, and they had thousands of products, so they literally couldn't keep all that information with them. So how could they show the doctors this information, you know, and keep up with it all? And so they've moved to delivering all that information on iPads running on our software. And so what that is doing is not only saving them time and saving them money and saving a tree, but the other thing it's saving is helping the customer. When the customer asks information, they're getting way better service now because the person they're talking to has that information right at their fingertips.
All right, so obviously selecting the right tool to create a mobile solution is the key, okay? And obviously FileMaker is what we're hoping that they're going to select. But is there more to it than that? I mean, what other tips can you offer when someone's trying to do this?
Well, one of the things I'd recommend someone consider if they're getting FileMaker is, in addition to getting the FileMaker product, download our free FileMaker training series. So we have created a self-paced training guide to FileMaker. Now you can do, like I said, some very basic things. In fact, when you start up FileMaker, there's a getting started guide that's built in FileMaker that teaches you some real basics. But if you probably want to go a little beyond that, we have available for download. Also, it's in the iBook store. Is something called the FileMaker Training Series Basics, and anyone can get it. It's free, and it will step you through kind of the next level in to where you can really take advantage of FileMaker. And I would recommend anyone looking at FileMaker get that.
Okay. All right. So FileMaker, I guess, really prides itself on the ease of use, the do-it-yourself, nature of its tools. So why then is the ecosystem of professional developers important to keep in mind?
Well, that's a fair question. There are two reasons for it. The main reason is, people get to a certain point, and some people want to keep going with FileMaker. In fact, many of those professional developers came out of our customers. They fell in love with using FileMaker. I mean, it's very addicting to be able to create things for yourself, to be able to help other people. It's fun. A FileMaker person is someone that if you walk by them, they'll grab you and they'll say, "Hey, look what I did." But sometimes people get that way, and sometimes people get to a certain point and they just feel like they've taken it as far as they want to. They want to bring somebody else in who can take it a step further. Like I said, maybe this solution's getting very complex, or maybe they're integrating it with other business systems that they might have, trying to move data around, or maybe they're trying to manage servers and maybe that's a little uncomfortable to them, whatever the issue is. So that's when they turn to one of our many consultants and they can come in and help them out. Then there are people who want all the benefits I just listed, and they really don't have the time. They can't even invest any time at all. I don't even have time to download your free trial and check it out. In which case, you can turn to one of our consultants, and they can come in and build a solution right from scratch for you. People do that as well. So those are the two reasons why the consulting firms exist.
Okay, so you gave us a couple, one or two examples. Any other interesting or creative examples of how people are using FileMaker to replace the paper-based process you might share with us? Anything come to mind?
Oh, sure. Here's one I like. This is a company that we talked medical earlier. I like this a lot. It's nurses, and so what they go in and they help hospitals with certain types of procedures. And then the patient gets moved. They go in and they help out and they use an iPad. And the patient gets moved from the hospital to a long-term care facility. You know what normally happens? The records are nowhere. They don't follow the patient around. But what they do with our system is they enter them into an iPad, like what they did to the patient. They go into a central repository, which links up to the hospital system. But when they move the patient from that hospital to a long-term care facility, all the records follow them along. And so the nurses are just as aware of what they need to do with the patient when they're in the long-term care facility as if they were walking into the hospital. So I really think that's pretty cool and a great example of the use of technology to make patients' lives better.
Given the complexity of hospitals, that's certainly not something just popping FileMaker out of the box and doing that in a few minutes.
No.
That
was a more advanced solution. That's a company that specializes in mobile nurses and getting them into hospitals, and so they were able to invest a little more time, definitely more time, and build up a more complex solution and do integration. So I would agree that's not your average small business, but it's a really neat use that I like because it's making people's lives better. Hey, I'll give you another example I just heard of, which is that several baseball coaches, like first base coaches, third base coaches at a couple of different teams, are using FileMaker to keep track on the stats that of the opposing players, and that way when the runner gets to first base and they're ready to take off for second or not, they can bring up the information that they have learned from using FileMaker and say, this pitcher, his time to the plate is really, really slow. You can run on this guy, or hey, you better hold off. This guy's gonna this guy's almost certain to bunt in this situation, whatever. So there's another good use of FileMaker to help manage that massive information that they have in baseball and be able to, put it together to help them win games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. So, what's the typical cost of FileMaker? I mean, the product. You buy the FileMaker Pro, and then all the other things that support it, or like the apps, everything, are free. I mean, how do you get started with FileMaker?
Well, if you have 5 or more people, FileMaker is about $9 a month, and that you can rent the software or buy it on an annual license, as we call it, for a monthly fee. If you want to purchase the software outright, it's $329 per copy. So that's typically the starting point. Most people get a copy to begin with, build their solution, and buy out from whatever they need from there. There is a free trial. If you want to check out FileMaker without making any commitment, you can do that for 30 days by downloading that off our website.
Now, when you do that, you get the fully functioning product. And then if you do like
you get everything everything's there, all the starter solutions, all the abilities of FileMaker. And again, you can also check out the iPad and iPhone version as well, because that's free, and you can download that. And so you can build a solution, use it on your Mac or your Windows machine, and get it onto your iPad, all without paying anything, and make sure that FileMaker is what you really want.
Okay, and then if you do decide FileMaker is what you really want, then you purchase it, and then you don't have to start all of your work all over again. I mean, you just activate it and that's it.
No, activate it and away you go. You're using it. You're sharing it with others. Typically, that's a major goal that people have with FileMaker, is they're building for themselves, but often their main goal is, hey, I have a team of people. I have a couple of us, 2 of us, 5 of us, 10 of us, and I want to share. And so you can use that solution and build it out from there. Again, sharing is built right into FileMaker. You and I get a copy, we're sharing.
And as you use it, as you continue to make improvements to FileMaker, what about updates or upgrades? What's the policy?
Thank you for asking that, because that's one of the really cool things about FileMaker. Instant updating, especially if you're using a server. If I have a solution on a server, and let's say that we're in a school setting, okay? We're maybe a small charter school, and we're keeping track of information on students in there. And all of a sudden, there's a really important thing we need to track. Hey, guess what? There's a new sickness running around, and we need to track which kids are getting sick here. We can put a field of information into FileMaker, and instantly, everybody that's connected to that server, whether or not they're on an iPad, whether or not they're on a Mac or Windows machine, or even in a browser, they see that field. No one has to push refresh. No one has to even hit refresh in their browser. It just gets pushed out to everybody.
Good.
It's a really neat feature and helps everyone to stay together.
Yeah, exactly. And then the collaboration, a product like FileMaker, certainly that is a very important. Again, if you want more information, go to computeramerica.com and just click on our show notes, and you'll see today's date, May the 27th, and you'll see FileMaker. There's a link right to their website. You can check out all the products at the FileMaker website or FileMaker.com. You can do that again. And listen, Ron, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. It's been a while and too long, but glad to see that you're still with FileMaker and things are going extremely well with the company.
It's always a pleasure, Craig. Thank you for having me.
Listen, again, a pleasure, and when next time something new comes along, contact us and let us know so we can get the word out to our listeners. Okay?
Will do.
All right, Ryan. Take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right, so there he goes. FileMaker. Again, Ryan Rosenberg.
Ryan Reynolds was just on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Green Lantern. Yeah, no, Ryan Rosenberg for FileMaker here on the program. And again, check it out at the website at FileMaker.com or our show notes page at ComputerAmerica.com. So we got another hour of the Computer America show, and we've got another news tips bulletin from Marty Winston. And did you like you liked it? You talked about the Unite Pro that allows you to bring your hotspot with you. And I think the next one he's going to do in this hour is on a really cool pair of headsets. So we'll hear about
Are they Beats by Dre?
Yes. What? Are they what?
Are they Beats by Dre?
No, they're not Beats by Dre, but they're another one there. Yeah,
They're Beats by Apple and Dre.
So the cool thing is that we're going to have 2 of his news tips bulletins now on each week at Computer America. So that's now, of course, coming up in hour 2, we're going to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America, and we got some interesting stories coming up. We've got the Google Chromecast is getting launched in Australia. That's kind of cool.
This is Austria, Craig.
Austria, excuse me. Why did I think
It's Australia. It's Australia.
It says Australian. It's Australia, not Austria.
I'm just messing with you.
Australian.
I've got one for you. Stan Lee explains why no cameo in X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what was happening. Those stories and more coming up in hour 2 of the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, and the Blog Talk Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
The great and powerful Charles. Charles Tendell. See? Even your own stuff doesn't know it.
Yeah.
I actually have got a piece of news that is not in your list.
Oh, well,
I find highly entertaining.
Okay, well, we'll do that. And but before we start the news, I just wanted to. We've gotten a lot of interest in the response to this. We have a limited special offer that we're doing at ComputerAmerica.com. If you go to our homepage, you'll see it right there on the left-hand side. And it's with our good friends at the good folks over at the Pro XPN. Again, some questions about people don't understand what Pro XPN is and what it does for them. And I just want to explain again. Whenever you go online, you and your computer are probably in danger with the risk of your privacy being compromised. Especially if you use an open Wi-Fi connection. You go to a Starbucks or one of your favorite bookstores. You see it all the time. But even when you're at home, internet service providers can monitor where you go and what you do, and if
they can pull a Big Brother card on you.
Yeah, or if you're using too much bandwidth, they can throttle you back and say, "Oh, you're watching too many videos." Well, that sucks. You don't want that to happen.
Yep.
So with Pro XPN, you don't have to worry about any of this. It's an open VPN solution. VPN is virtual. Personal, private. Is it personal or private?
Private.
Virtual private network. That's right, private network, and it's a solution hosted not only here in the U.S. but globally as well, like Amsterdam and Singapore and London. So when you're online, you actually appear as though you're located in those different cities. It's completely secure. I use it. I know a lot of the Computer America staff uses it. It's got an encryption key that's very strong, 2048 bits, and the tunnel is 512 bits. Basically, all that means is Pro XPN protects you online and it protects your privacy. This is the way the internet was intended to be. So I use it on my Mac, and also I use it on my gold iPhone 5S. Charles,
your gold iPhone 5S. I hear that after a certain amount of time they tarnish and become slow.
No, that rumor. Kimosabe is wrong. That is just as gold as the day that I took it out of the box.
It's because you're using that high-speed bedazzled pink case that we sent you.
Nope. There's no case whatsoever. But I know you have it on your Android phone. It actually adds OpenVPN to Android, which it doesn't normally have. So you don't have to use PPTP, point-to-point tunneling protocol. But you can use that as well. look, here's the thing. We want you to use ProXPN. We want to use it and try it for yourself. So whenever you go online, you're protected. If you use a desktop, the ProXPN has a Mac and a Windows version. You get advanced controls to select ports. You can connect at startup. And this is something really cool. You can select which programs should shut down in case your VPN connection goes down and your anonymity has been compromised. I think that's very, very cool. So here's the deal. You can download ProXPN for free and use it. But the premium version is so much faster and better. Normally it's like $10 a month or $75 a year. But if you enter in the code COMPAM, COMPAM, you get an additional 20% off any membership that they offer. And once you do that, it's good forever, not just the one time. So that's like less than $5 a month when you go for the yearly plan. Look, you need this if you ever go online and you listen to the show, you know you need it. This is the best VPN around. It's proxpn.com. You could use the promo code COMPAM just once for 20% off your membership. Go to the Computer America website and just click on the special deal. You can click anywhere. You can click on the logo, and it'll take you right to the special page for us that they've done. It's ProXPN. You'll be glad that you had it and you use it. Okay, take it from me. Go there. So
now wait a minute. Before ProXPN came to your life, and before what we'd like to say in the Tendell household, BC or before Charles.
Yes.
Did you even know what a VPN was?
I had no privacy. They were monitoring everything. I had nothing. And
you had no passwords on your iPhones.
No, I once went to download a movie just for the heck of it to see, because they said, "Oh, check it out." At the time, I didn't realize that, it's frowned upon, so I don't do it anymore. But when I went, I actually got a letter from my my company, my IP company, saying you can't do that, and if you do that again, we're gonna. I have the letter. I couldn't believe this. I didn't do it anymore. I just did it the one time, but I immediately. You get a letter. I got a letter from them saying that they were threatening to disconnect me. So again, just don't do it. I mean, just get ProXP and you don't have to worry about things like that. I'm not saying you should, it's okay to download movies illegally. Don't do that. But I'm saying there are many other situations where you just don't want people to know what you're doing, and with ProXP, and you don't have to worry about it.
Well, it's more along the lines of people have gotten away from the idea that the internet is supposed to be anything other than their private browsing surface. I mean, think about all the things that you do on your computer or that you do online, and that you may or may not want, somebody random actually snooping on that stuff. I mean, there's transactions. Well, I know there are some private conversations that I have with my significant other that I don't need the entire world looking on. So when we make it a point to either be on a secure home network, secure internal network, or if we're out in public, like we were just coming back from California not too long ago. And I was connected to my VPN sitting in the airport while on the airport's Wi-Fi, because airport Wi-Fi is great, but I've given so many demonstrations of me sitting there with my laptop being like, oh look, this guy is on Facebook, or this guy is checking his email. Let's see if I can hijack his session. And I know there's got to be at least 2 or 3 more of me somewhere in that airport. So get it, protect yourself, protect what you got going on, and don't get tied up in other people snooping on your stuff. It's not fun. It just add an extra outer layer of protection. And one more thing that you didn't mention, if you do get something like malware or anything like that, some VPNs, I haven't tested it with ProXPN yet, but I bet you they do, prevent malware from actually exfiltrating from your computer, because it sees the traffic and says, this is bad, and stops it. Again, can't vouch for ProXPN, but I do know that there are some out there. So you get a safer experience, and if you're getting hacked externally, they won't know where to go.
That's it. There you go. ProXPN. Check it out. ProXPN.com, and use that special code COMPAM. COMPAM. And again, it's all on our website. Just go to our website. Right on our homepage, you can read everything. And it's
CompAm. Is that like Pan Am?
No, CompAm, Computer America. Okay. All right. Well, let's do some computer news and get started.
Okay. And then I've got an announcement. So far.
Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. Free! That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com, absolutely free. Check them all out. Get them all. They'll do exactly what they say they'll do, and there's never a charge for it. You won't. There's no freemium version. It's the full implementation. Download them all. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. Really, you will. Okay. So starting off the first news.
Well, wait, I've got an announcement for you.
Oh, what's the announcement?
So at all the years of the Computer America show, how many times did you have somebody go to DEF CON?
You went.
Once. So you had once, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you're going to get it again.
Yes.
So Charles will be at DEF CON again this year. We will be presenting, and we're going to be working on getting some media access out there. But I just got an email.
Yeah.
From DEF CON's more mature, slightly more business casual brother, Black Hat.
Oh, yes.
And Computer America will officially be broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada, from August 2nd to the 7th, most likely from the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, where I will be attending Black Hat 2014. And shameless plug for my company. If all goes well, Azorian Cybersecurity will be presenting on alternative command and control methods, things that Pro XPN wouldn't make possible.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, great.
So this is going to be fun. I just got my confirmation. I'm looking forward to it. Dee is in the process of finding hotels and things, and I am really looking forward to it. It's going to be a whole nother avenue. Last year they had a lot of great keynotes. They had the head of the NSA there. They had a lot of big, powerful people that were up there speaking, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be able to maybe we need to get a Computer America blog, and I need to be able to real-time blog from DEF CON.
Yeah, exactly. Well, certainly we'll do live footage. You can
Well, actually, I'm reading this. They're saying that there's some regulations on videotaping, but I think I'm okay. Like, all video content has to be attributed to Black Hat USA 2014. No zooming in on laptops. Camera crews and videographers must receive permission of the subject you're taping. Major media companies need to work with Black Hat PR and marketing team for special arrangements, and share and create content with the appropriate people for Black Hat. I'm down with that. I'm looking forward to being amongst people that don't look at me like I'm weird.
Oh, and Fort wants you to let him know, so email him so he can tweet it up. And when you're out there, we can do tweets.
Fort, follow me or Princess Bree, and we will be tweeting our butts off. I guarantee it.
Okay.
All right. Fall off in the middle of the conference. Just have
So there you go. All right, so let's start doing some news here. That was newsworthy unto itself. But this one, Google Chromecast launches Down Under. As revealed last week's Dick Smith leak, Google Chromecast is now available in Australian stores for $49. That's Australian dollars. Okay. The device, which launched in the U.S. In July of last year and 11 countries in Europe in March, is a dongle that plugs into an HDMI port. It then allows users to stream content from their mobile phones, tablets, and PCs to their HD TV via Wi-Fi. The Chromecast and connecting device have to be on the same Wi-Fi network. It's supported by Windows, Mac, Chrome OS, Android, and iOS. By the way, over the weekend I used my Chrome to watch the latest Star Trek movie, with the Chris.
Nice. On Netflix.
It was on Netflix, and I watched. I saw it in the theaters, but I got to watch it again. And more.
God!
Yeah, exactly. Google, and again, I did with my Chromecast, which I really love. Google applications such as YouTube, Chrome, and Google Music and Movies are supported across any OS where those apps are available. Firefox support is not yet available, although according to Mozilla meeting notes, it's coming soon. What this means is that you can stream content from those applications to your TV. In Chrome, for instance, Chrome support is currently only available for PCs, not mobile devices. You can use the Google Cast Chrome add-on to stream one tab to your TV screen while continuing to browse other tabs on your PC. That's nice. When you're using it on your phone or tablet, the mobile device works more like a remote control. In Australia, we will not have access to popular Chromecast-compatible apps in the U.S. such as Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Go, although global apps such as Pandora, Crackle, and Plex, which allow you to stream content hosted on your own server, are supported. Okay, and on the local front, Foxtel's Presto subscription will be launching for Android tablets in July with Chromecast compatibility, and QuickFlix is in the final stages of adding Chromecast compatibility on Android and iOS. The ABC is also adding Chromecast compatibility to its iView apps. Google noted that over 5,000 developers worldwide have now included Chromecast support in their apps, which include slideshows, music, movies, and TV, drawing apps, and even games. Unfortunately, Google has not yet provided an easy way of finding them. There's a Chromecast wiki and a free third-party discovery app for Android available, however. Meanwhile, developers are looking to add Chromecast support to their own apps, and they can do so in using the Open SDK released earlier this year. There you go. Okay. What was that?
Nothing.
Oh, the dog.
It's not the dog. It's just me in another form.
Oh, hey Charles, you're looking kind of furry.
What's going on, Craig? Happy to be here.
Yeah, so if you're watching the live video streaming, we're now seeing Charles's little dog. Or what's the dog's name?
That's Bree. That is
Yeah.
our Puggle, also known as Fatness, because she's really round. Big as little as she is, but she's a great dog.
Yeah, I can see. So Chromecast coming to now. Of course, if you're listening to us in Australia, this makes it obviously. But if you're here in the U.S. And you don't have a Chromecast, you should get one because
you should definitely fix that problem.
Yeah, absolutely. $35. What a deal.
Well, we've been using it. So our projector broke at the office. The connector on the back of it. So we've actually been using the television in the front room, and we have a living room in our office.
Mm-hmm.
With our laptops and Chromecasting to the television to do presentations, to give website mock-ups.
Nice.
My daughter Jordan just gave a presentation about a new website that she's building. If anybody else out there is interested, it'll be online here soon. It's called lifeaccordingtojordan.com. It's about things that matter to an 11-year-old going to her first year of middle school. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you don't have a Chromecast, fix that. There's literally no reason for you to not spend the $35 to upgrade your television watching experience.
Right. So what do we got? What's next?
Well, I've got one. It's kind of a security alert, but me being the certified ethical hacker that I am, I think it's kind of a good thing that this is coming out. From CNET.com, Spotify, if you don't know what it is, I'll tell you in a second, alerts Android users to upgrade, citing breach. The music streaming service says only one user's data was subject to the unauthorized access, but it warns Android users to expect an upgrade in the coming days. Spotify has warned users that it intends to upgrade its Android app in the wake of an internal company network breach.
Mm-hmm.
In a blog post Tuesday, Spotify's chief technology officer did not confirm when the unauthorized access to our systems occurred, but did say that the user data had been accessed, although it was that of just one person.
Mm-hmm.
It was Craig Grossman's. Our evidence shows that one Spotify user's data has been accessed, and this did not include any password, financial, or payment information. We have contacted this one individual based on our findings, and we're not aware of any increased risk to users as a result of this incident. The attack appears to be an isolated and tiny incident, considering the music streaming service has an estimated 40 million users. The chief security officer? Yep.
Yeah.
The chief technology officer went on to say, oh, I lost my place. See what you did, Craig?
He was not aware of any increased risk to users as a result of this incident.
Yes. He's continued on. The company takes this matter very seriously and will be asking some users to re-enter their username and password in the coming days. The company also said Android users will be guided to upgrade this week. It's not clear if the data breach was a result of Android, but Spotify did say in a follow-up Q&A that we do not believe this incident will affect your phone in any way. That said, we have questions in with the company and will update once we hear back. The original story appeared on ZDNet under the headline, Spotify warns of internal breach, warns Android users to upgrade.
Okay. All right. Good. Anything else that we should know about that, or is it pretty much straightforward?
That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, here's something I wanted to report. This is from the iPhone Life magazine. This is kind of exciting. Apple is going to announce smart home platform this coming Monday. Now, this story goes on to say that there was a report out yesterday from the Financial Times saying that Apple will be announcing a new smart home platform during the next Monday's keynote at the WWDC. Apple has been working on an integrated home system for at least several years, with a number of patent applications indicating what they have in mind. In this post from the January 2012, for example, he said he pointed to a patent application that described a single device that would automatically detect appliances available for it to control. This would include TV, video displayers, stereo, computer, home device controls, security, lighting, thermostat, that kind of thing. The problem is that while there are now many network devices that have the apps that let you control them with your iPhone or iPad, there is no common interface or standard. Apple's vision, as I understand it, is to create a common platform so that setting up and controlling these devices would be easy and intuitive. And of course, any new platform requires the participation of developers, so WWDC is exactly the place where you want to announce it. The Financial Times says that Apple has been talking to companies that make smart home products. If they make them compatible with Apple's new platform, then Apple will certify the devices and sell them in their retail stores. The report says that the certification will be similar to Apple's Made for iPhone label that gives it accessories, but with a new branding and a new logo. I'm wondering, is this too soon, too late? I mean, there are so many things out there now. I mean, I wanted to put I wanted to upgrade our system to something that's more modern, and not everything will work with that. I don't know, maybe.
I honestly think the home automation thing, I think with Google integrating with Nest, I think anybody else who comes after it is going to be a little behind the power curve.
Yeah. It's also rumored that iOS 8 will include a focus on health and fitness and a new health book app. If that's true, this could also be a new platform that Apple will introduce. Because I can't wait to see what they announce. Clearly, we have a lot to look forward to from Apple. I mean, we talked about this with Gene Steinberg on Friday.
I missed it because there was a tornado.
I know, but you can listen to it on Friday's show if you missed it.
Well, I saw Ben covered for me, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, but basic, yeah. But you know, Apple's going to announce a smart home platform at the WWDC, so we'll cover it and we'll see what happens.
But does it come with gold inlays for your phone?
No, but that time the iPhone 6 will be out.
Yeah. Have you seen that thing?
What?
The mock-ups for the iPhone 6?
I've seen some of them, but
that's going to be a gorgeous device. It's thinner. It looks like it's a little bit wider because you get a little bit bigger screen. It's going to be a really hot device.
All right. Well, good.
At least I think.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do this? This is a really cool story here from TechCrunch that I want to do too. But
oh, good way of preventing me from stealing your story. I have to remember that one from. I don't want Craig to steal my stories, but I got one from Engadget.com. The U.S. military wants brain implants to treat combat trauma.
Yeah.
For soldiers coping with brain injuries and post-traumatic stress. Sounds like me.
Yeah.
Coming home may be tougher than actual fighting. May be tougher than actual fighting. Their conditions can last a lifetime. On a side note, just for all of our veterans out there, Memorial Day just happened. You know, we did all take a moment to honor the fallen soldiers out there, but you should also remember the ones who are home now. You know, either they're still in uniform or they're coming out of uniform, and they've got post-traumatic stress disorder, or they've got PTSD or anything like that. It's a real problem, you know. And I've been out since 2006, and you know, I still to this day, I still can't drive down a highway and there be a box or an item sitting on the side of the road and I can't change lanes. Like it still affects me in a really deep way. So if you know a veteran, or if you've got an opportunity to donate to the Department of Veterans Affairs or any organization that is doing research into how to help soldiers with PTSD, please do it. These men have put on the uniform, they raised their right hand, they swore to uphold the Constitution and defend this country. They did it, and now they're going to be living with a lifetime of trauma and nightmares and just things that normal people would never think to deal with. And support your troops, support your veterans, whether you supported the war or the government or anything like that. These are men and women that deserve your help. And go out there, donate to the Wounded Warriors Foundation, do something, help them, so that they can come home to the country that they were happy to defend.
Well said.
Rant over, but anyway, long-term relief may be on the horizon for U.S. veterans through a DARPA, D-A-R-P-A, though DARPA is supporting the White House's brain mapping initiative by funding the development of implants conceptualized below that alleviate the symptoms of a warrior's mental problems ranging from PTSD to extreme depression. The technology, built by the Massachusetts General Hospital Draper Laboratory and UC San Francisco, will use sensors to watch for unusual neural activity at multiple parts of the brain. If something's wrong, the implant will use deep electrical stimulation to restore healthy activity permanently if possible. Affected veterans will have to wait a while to see results. Clinical trials for the implants aren't expected until 5 years from now, and it'll take longer for still a wide-scale deployment. Researchers want to be cautious and avoid ethical problems inherent to altering someone's mind. Eventually, though, returning troops may get to leave most of their stress on the battlefield.
Yeah, wouldn't that be slick?
You have no idea. My first year back, I slept with my weapon and slept on the floor most of the time, woke up in cold sweats. I still have the occasional nightmare, but, I've gotten very good at not remembering my dreams, by choice. This is a weird technology, and I feel this is going to be a quick way for it to be manipulated, but it's really a big deal. I mean, I've seen some guys that came back, they lost everything while in Iraq, and came home to losing even more, families, wives, girlfriends, you hear about people talking about, all these veterans and hiring veterans and so on and so forth. It's very difficult a lot of people want to hire a veteran, but it's hard for a veteran to hold, some of us to hold a job working for anyone else because of the way we were programmed, and it's scary, you're dealing with that what in normal society is like a normal office politics. Some of us are thinking, how can I slit your throat and get away with it? It's that drastic of an adjustment here. We went from eat, sleep, and keep from dying to eat, sleep, pay taxes, keep from killing people, follow somebody else's rules, get a job, do all this other stuff, and it's not straightforward, and it's very, very difficult for some of us to come back, and that's it. Again, help them if you can.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me I do this story here from TechCrunch. Microsoft demos real-time speech-to-speech translation on Skype. This is kind of cool. Microsoft Skype has long enabled people in different parts of the world to communicate with one another through video, voice, and text chat. Now the service is looking to expand those capabilities by testing out a feature that could allow people who don't speak the same language to talk with each other. Wouldn't that be cool? Today, at the first annual Code Conference, Microsoft head of Skype and Link showed off a new speech-to-speech translation technology that the company is looking to introduce in future versions of its Skype products. The feature, which Skype is hoping to roll out in beta later this year, translates speech from one language to another in near real time.
That's pretty cool.
As it was demoed, the feature translates speech from English into text for transcription on a colleague screen in German, and also into voice in German, and vice versa. Look at that. In the chat before the demo, he said that Skype is about bringing people closer and breaking down barriers. That started with the idea of cheap international calling and expanded into face-to-face communications via video. Now, it's taking on the challenge of breaking the language barrier. The feature was a collaboration between Skype, Bing, Microsoft's Research Lab, which has long been working on natural language processing and machine learning for a while. At the conference, Microsoft CEO said that the feature would be available later this year, and that the company would try to launch it on as many devices and apps as possible. Wouldn't that be cool? You know, just talking in English and having it coming out in a different language. You know,
This universal translator, Star Trek. We've got the replicator. Now we've got the universal translator. We know where it's going next.
Yeah. Hey, nearly 400 million Twitter users estimated by 2018. One of the stories we're going to be doing. And also a new $200 Toshiba Windows tablet shows why Surface Mini isn't needed. Those stories and more coming up. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Stay tuned for more. We got a new news tips bulletin. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of Audio-Technica ATH M20X headphones. We've long respected Audio-Technica for the extraordinarily good quality of their full-size headphones, and their new ATH M20X professional monitor headphones are true to that heritage, even though they are among the least expensive. As monitor headphones should, these put an emphasis on transparency, not coloring the sound with the boomy bass boosts of so-called DJ headphones. We played back tracks spanning 60 years and could easily hear, for example, the notes from a single piano behind a big Dean Martin session. Bottom line, the audio transparency of the full-size Audio-Technica ATH M20X professional monitor headphones makes them a great choice for discerning uncolored detail in audio. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Can't hear you. You're totally muted.
Silly button. Silly button. That was a good one, too. Thank you, Marty, for giving us your information on the ARS Technica headphones.
Yeah.
What do you think of them? You're kind of an audiophile.
Well, yeah, I mean the fact that you could you could discern the different instruments, I thought that was kind of cool. That you
Yeah,
could.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Beats by Dre thing. I think it's a hyped up, extra bass
Mhm.
set of headphones, and I am a big fan of clarity,
Yeah.
and I understand that bass is an additive, not the music itself.
So did that seem too long to you as well, or was
No,
that?
that one sounded good. That one sounded
Right.
good. I mean, it was. I don't know what it is. Just the first one. The first one, I don't know. It just seemed like it just kept going, and I was like, what is going on here?
Okay.
You know what? Actually, you know what? I would love to hear from one of our listeners about this. Are the new segments, are they too long? Are they what is that? Do we like them? Do we love them? Give us a call, 347-884-8881. That number again, 347-884-8881. That'll get you on and get you through. Or shoot us an email live@computeramerica.com. Again, live@computeramerica.com. Or join us over at computeramerica.com in our live interactive add-on chat room, right above which is our live streaming video where I'm there, Craig's hiding behind his webcam firewall still, all of which brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Great stuff from great people, MacSales.com.
All right.
And my Puggle has just decided she wants to play, and I'm like, I don't understand why suddenly.
Well, this story from GigaOhm.
GigaOhm.
A new $199 Toshiba Windows tablet shows why the Surface Mini is not needed. Wow. Yeah. As I said, Toshiba is showing Microsoft how to aggressively price a tablet. The company launched an 8-inch slate today that has a quad-core Intel processor, high-definition touchscreen, and 10 hours of expected battery life. Oh, and it runs the full version of Microsoft Windows 8.1. That's a biggie. A follow-up to last year's Windows slate, the Toshiba Encore 2, is precisely why Microsoft was wise to reportedly pull the Surface Mini from a launch event last week. For under $200, Toshiba has put together a compelling package in under a pound of weight, and it didn't have to resort to using a smartphone chip paired with Windows RT software to do so. Surely helping here is Microsoft's recent decision to eliminate the Windows licensing fees for small tablets.
Critical.
Consumers, however, don't care about the deals between Microsoft and its hardware partners. They want a good value, and they're likely to see it with the Encore 2, which will also be available in a $269 10-inch model when the tablets go on sale in July. Both slates offer 1280 by 800 resolution screens, up to 64 gigs of internal storage with optional expansion through a micro SD card slot and a micro USB port for accessories. Each has stereo speakers and a micro HDMI port for external display support, as well as dual cameras for video chatting and snapping pictures. You'll also get the full Microsoft Office suite through an included 1-year Office 365 personal subscription. Boy, they are really packing this thing in.
Now, what are the hardware specs on this thing?
Yeah, well, I just said I gave the 64. Considering I recently spent $299 for a similar product than the Dell Venue 8 Pro, you can see how aggressively priced these slates are. More importantly, however, the Encore 2 clearly shows that there is no need for a Surface Mini that doesn't run full Windows 8.1 software. Microsoft would have to price such a device at $179 or even less to compete against products like the Encore 2. And even if it did meet that price, consumers would have to decide whether to save a few bucks is worth using a Windows computer that can't run older Windows software. That's the same choice consumers have faced since the original Surface with Windows RT arrived. Okay? And for a little extra cash, it has generally made more sense to buy an Intel Atom-based Windows 8.1 tablet or hybrid for more capabilities and similar battery life. This is nice.
I hear mixed reviews on them. They're all, they replace your Windows machine, so on and so forth. I haven't run Windows in years and don't intend on running it, so, yeah, I don't know.
But
Are you
look,
gonna get one?
They're saying you can get a full Windows 8.1 tablet that weighs less than a pound, runs 10 hours for under $200. Yeah, I mean,
I'd have to see it.
Yeah.
We should wait till Sandy gets a hold of it and gives us her review.
Sandy, yeah, absolutely. She's our consumer electronics expert. I'm very curious to see, but just reading this off the top of my, it looks very impressive. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, I've got a puggle over here who's like dying for my attention.
Okay.
All right, so from CNET.com, Google's Virus Total Uploader now available for Macs. Previously available as a web app or a Windows app, Google's Virus Total tool for scanning suspicious files is now available for Mac OS X.
10.
No, it says X.
10. It's a
It
Roman.
says X.
It's a Roman numeral. 10.
It says X. Anyway, it's just got easier for Mac users to scan suspicious files. Yesterday, Google released a version of its Virus Total Uploader for Macs, a utility that lets you drag and drop files to scan suspected malware with over 50 antivirus apps. Anyone can use the Virus Total website to upload and scan a file, but Virus Total Uploader app provided drag and drop ease. It had been available for Windows users, and now Mac users running OS X 10.8 or 10.9 can now use it. You can download the app directly from the Virus Total website. The app lets you drag and drop files to upload and analyze. It will show you if any of the 50 or so antivirus apps it features detects anything suspicious. After Virus Total finishes scanning a file, it provides a link that will show you additional analysis, including which specific antivirus apps have raised a red flag. In addition to dragging and dropping the files to Virus Total Uploader, initial scan, you can also right-click on a file and select Virus Total Uploader via the Open With menu to scan a file. This all via the Next Web.
Okay.
And see, how is it OS 10 when it says users running OS X 10.8 or 10.9?
Well, it's OS 10, 10.8. You say
But
10.
it doesn't say that. It says OS X.
Well, the version number is not Roman numeral, but the OS 10 is a Roman numeral.
But it doesn't say OS 10. It says OS X.
Okay.
06.
All right.
You're just giving up on that battle, huh?
Absolutely, because I know I can't win it. How LG's robot lasers produce the world's fastest camera phone. This, according to The Verge. The camera in LG's new G3 flagship smartphone is pretty special. Not for its 13-megapixel sensor or optical image stabilization, both good things to have, but for being the first among phones to feature a laser autofocus system. That's cool. Here's how it works. The moment you enter the camera app, the G3 starts emitting a cone-shaped laser beam from a window just to the side of the camera. The phone then measures how long it takes for the light to bounce back to it, and thus gets a reading of how far away the subject of the photo is. It's the same thing that bats do with sonar, only it's done with lasers projected at infrared wavelengths and therefore invisible to the human eye. This is very cool. Curiously enough, LG didn't develop this technology for its current purpose. The lasers in question were first researched for use in the company's line of HomeBot robotic vacuum cleaners. However, they were never implemented there. Seeing a synergistic opportunity, LG's mobile team picked them up and made them an integral part of what the company claims is the fastest camera in a smartphone today. LG combines the constant flow of range information from the lasers with a conventional contrast detection autofocus and extra algorithms like face detection. It's a hybrid system that will automatically give precedence to the more useful data. LG says that the laser helps more in low light situations and with nearby subjects, but it can't give a reliable reading it might discard in favor of the standard focus method. Still, the company claims an autofocus time of just 276 milliseconds, faster than the blink of an eye. Yeah, really. The camera user interface could be described as utilitarian if there actually was any to describe it. LG's hidden away all controls and left the user with just 2 buttons, one for the menu and the other to exit the app. By default, images are captured and focused when you tap anywhere on the screen. The software setup is an overt call to challenge the speed and precision of what LG believes is the best autofocus system on the market. In practice, the G3's camera isn't tangibly faster than the speedy shooters on the iPhone 5S or HTC One. Its headline number of less than 1/3 of a second to capture an image is the best case scenario, and pictures often take longer to complete. Even when comparing cameras at their fastest, the G3's advantage is of mere milliseconds and therefore too moderate to be noticeable. Still, it's a cool innovation. Lasers are involved, and it makes LG's the best that little better. Okay, you know. Okay, so there it is. Robot lasers on the world's fastest camera phone. Not really detectable.
Brock.
Not really detectable, but you know, hey.
You want to talk about something else that might be not so detectable by the human eye?
What's that?
Google pushes for pixel-perfect logo.
No way.
Yep.
Come on. Is this
From TheGuardian.com. It's weird. I'm looking at it and I keep comparing it. I'm like, not even a little bit. I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. Without fanfare, Google has changed its logo for only the 3rd time in a decade by just 2 pixels. The firm updated the logo on its front page at some point over the bank holiday weekend, having moved the G, the lowercase g, to the right by a single pixel, and the I down and to the right by 1 pixel each. No idea. Google is tight-lipped on why it made the change on
Who would notice this?
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, who noticed this?
Notice this?
Like, who did this? Who is so cyber stalking Google that you noticed a pixel move?
1 pixel.
1 pixel. Like the average user, they refresh the page. No idea.
No.
Yep. Google is tight-lipped on why it made the change to the kerning, the typographical term for adjustments to the kerning, the spacing between characters, but the posters on Reddit's mildly interested subforum where it was spotted note that the alteration finally makes the baseline of the word the I. And
I want to know who spotted it.
I don't know. I and the rightmost E in the logo matchup from the company which famously A/B tested, which shade of blue it used in adverts and made $200 million in the process, can be sure this decision wasn't made lightly.
I can't believe this. I mean, they're showing an animation between the two. I mean,
it's just like tick, 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 tick. It's weird because the animation is kind of freaking me out.
Well, you know, the animation I think is overkill. It's really not showing the difference. What it's doing is it's just
making it look like they're twitching.
Well, yeah, but if you actually look at the two side by side, I can't see it. I don't see the difference. I really don't. It's just to me. But there you go. They did it, and somebody spotted it. Somebody has no life. I mean, to me, this is the ultimate. Who? How could you spot this? How would you even notice something like that?
Well, I mean, somebody got an inside scoop, maybe.
Somebody had to be tipped off. There is no way that anybody sitting and looking at the Google would have noticed. Oh, look, the pixel. It's off by 1 pixel and down by 2 pixels.
You're saying you wouldn't notice, Craig?
No, nobody would notice. Somebody leaked a story and to somebody, but I can virtually guarantee you that nobody was sitting in front of the Google screen and said, "Oh, look, that looks different." It's just no way. It's impossible. I guarantee you, nobody observed this. It was a story that leaked out to somebody, and then they followed up. You agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's just impossible. You can't see something that small. Okay. Well, rant. Anyhow, this one from Recode. Microsoft Skype Star Trek language translator takes on the Tower of Babel. Okay.
Babel.
Yes. Remember the Universal Translator on Star Trek? The gadget lets Kirk and Spock talk to aliens. Microsoft will demonstrate on stage at the inaugural Code Conference a version of Skype that will do all the same. Actually, this is the same story. So we've already talked about this. So let me pick a different story because we already did this. Here's something. Facebook cuts down on pesky automatic sharing. Now, you'll be reading a lot less on Facebook about your friends' evening jogs, the songs they listen to, and the video games they play. Today, Facebook announced that it will cut down on newsfeed updates that outside apps like Spotify, Cityville, and Nike Running automatically share. Facebook even went on so far as to say it would encourage developers to stop including an auto-sharing feature in their apps entirely. With the change, Facebook is trying to make its service less cluttered by cutting down on what many users consider to be spam. Posts that people create and share themselves will become more prominent. In general, we found that the people engaged more with stories that are shared explicitly rather than implicitly. Again, this is according to Facebook. Facebook said that it has already reduced the number of automatically shared updates by 75% over the last year. Much of that may be related to users marking those posts as spam, Facebook said. Whether the social network's 1.2 billion users like their friends isn't in question. But they've made clearly that they don't want to get an update about every time their friend scores big on Candy Crush Saga, just one of the many mobile games that spew updates with little consideration for whether the recipients want to receive them. We talked about this last week a little bit too, so they're really cutting down on this stuff, trying to make it less cluttered and more. Okay. So we have time for about 2 more stories, so you take one, then I'll take one.
All right, I got this one from Recode.com. Microsoft CEO says company not selling search to Yahoo.
Ooh.
Forget what you read. Microsoft's chief executive officer said the company has no intentions of selling search to Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
In remarks during the inaugural Code Conference in Rancho Palos Verdes, got to be in California, the CEO said that in today's post-PC world, whatever that means, in which the average person is awash with data, the company will focus its efforts in finding ways to anticipate your questions and needs. CEO said the company will achieve breakthroughs in understanding questions posed in more natural human way and offering responses. The technological milestone was achieved because of its works on the search engine Bing. Bing! Though it has just 18% of the search market, which is funny because every enterprise computer runs Internet Explorer and everyone automatically goes to Google, just saying. 30% if you count the search it powers on behalf of Yahoo. He described that as success. It says it's very important technology. We are very happy to partner with Yahoo and not selling it.
Okay. All right. There it is. Did you ever own a Polaroid camera when you were a
Check
kid?
it like a Polaroid picture.
Did you ever own one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had several iterations. I had the giant Polaroid picture, which is funny. Like, you can still buy those right now, brand new off the shelf, and they haven't changed the design, not one.
Well, evidently, back in the good old days, you could take a photo of Fido with your Polaroid, and after a few shakes, be ready to tape it to your dorm room wall. Now, Lomo is looking to bring that same old-school experience into the next decade with the Instant, a self-developing film camera with a vintage feel. It has support for several different lenses, color filters that can even create images with the multiple exposures of your furry friend. The company already has a pretty sizable line of toy and DIY cameras that push the envelope, like this one made out of a paint can. The Instant follows in that tradition, building off an old favorite, the Fuji Instax. The camera uses its easy-to-find credit card-sized film, okay, but has 5 aperture settings, including f8, the largest available on any Instant camera. It also has 3 different shooting modes for tons of flexibility. Okay, you get a wide-angle lens in the box for the ultimate selfies, and the camera supports optional fisheye and portrait lenses as well. Unfortunately, buying it is a little less instant for now. Lomo has a working prototype of the camera, but the finished product isn't a reality yet. The company posted a Kickstarter today looking for $100,000 for a production run, a goal it's already blown past with 30 days still left to go. Wow. Photo enthusiasts will still have to wait until November to score one of the first instances off the assembly line. The camera is just $70 for those who invest now, or will be priced at $120 when its Lomo hits virtual store shelves next year. The Lomo Instant, the world's most creative instant camera system. I remember as a kid having a Polaroid camera, and then my father had a Polaroid camera too, black and white, and you know, you take the picture and then you pull it out and then you'd peel it off the back. The camera back would open, and then you had the fixer. You know, you had to put this chemical on the picture after you took it so it would not fade over time. And then of course I got the first SX70. That was the first one that popped open and it looked like a little triangle. It was on the cover of Life magazine. It got big, you know, and you hit the button and go bzzz, and that would come out the front of it. The SX70. That was the first one of those, and that was a color camera. That was really cool. Of course, now it's all digital. You know, you take a picture of your digital camera and then you print out the ones that you want to keep, paste up on the wall. I mean, this is nice, but it's kind of a I don't see this doing. Although they got over $100,000 immediately with 30 days to spare, and I'm sure that's from old time, you know. But I don't think it's ever really going to do much. I don't
know, actually. I used to know this one photographer, and she loved having the older stuff.
Yeah.
Like the old black and white cameras, the old film cameras, like all that other stuff, because it just took like you know, it's the same argument between vinyl and MP3s. There's just something about them that they're capturing that the modern stuff kind of misses. You know, we're so focused on, you know, high resolution and you know 14 megapixel cameras and whatnot, that we're missing that pictures were meant to be grainy, you know, designs or representations of life, not life themselves. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are always going to be people like that out there. You know, that are going to, you know, want the old. I mean, that's why you can still buy vinyl records. I mean, my son likes vinyl records. We buy them, you know, for a record player that he has.
They sound good. I mean, there's just a quality to vinyl, and I didn't know he was an audiophile. Well, it makes sense because you're his father.
Yeah, he likes them. No, I had nothing to do with it. I really had nothing to do with it. He has iPods and he listens to music, and so does Ben. But his mom will, you know, buy him vinyl records. He still plays vinyls for some reason.
They sound good. I mean, there's just a quality to them. I mean, it's really hard to describe. Like, we've got a vinyl record player, which is funny because it goes vinyl to USB.
Yeah.
So, you know, it goes digital anyway, but we've got one, and it is just something about the sound of the needle running against the vinyl, the background static. Yeah, the little bits of extra character in it.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call it distortion character, but I guess you can.
Yeah.
And the pops and the that you hear, and but they always say, "Oh, it's a warmer sound." I don't mean by a warmer sound. I mean, they make digital amplifiers with tubes. I've seen those. You know, they get this quote unquote warmer sound. I mean, I have good ears and I can discern music, but I don't really hear much of a difference. I think it's almost you know, it's in the mind of the listener, I think. I don't know if I think you can really quantify.
No, I mean, just do it. I mean, listen to your favorite audio track on MP3, and it's just too clean. It doesn't have the human element to it. And you listen to that same track on vinyl, and it just fills more of your eardrums.
You can't listen to MP3. You want to have it with no compression whatsoever. You want to get the true the AAU or something, the actual with no compression.
Something.
And compare that to the vinyl, because the MP3 is discernible, but you know, Apple and iTunes now you can get the actual non-compressed version, you know, for a few pennies more or something. And, yeah. Hey, we are pretty much out of time. We got what do we got tomorrow night? We've got couple of things. We've got, of course, we're going to start the show off with the computer and technology news. Again, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software computer.
90 seconds.
And then Dick DiBartolo, the Gizwiz.
Gizwiz.
Mad Magazine's maddest writer is going to be here. He always
I feel like he should have that intro. The Gizwiz.
We should say. He's got some really cool things. He's got like power surge strips that will blend into your hardwood floors. He's got some great things here. The world's stickiest grab pad. Just some of the things we're going to be talking about.
60 seconds.
And handy magnetic mini LED lights from Honeywell. Just some of the stories that we're going to be doing with him tomorrow. He's always a lot of fun, and we certainly invite you to join us here on tomorrow night's show. Anyway, he'll be with us tomorrow night, and hopefully you will be with us as well. And Charles, you're going to be with us too?
Always. I don't know. I've got a counterpart now, so I can tag team with Ben and be like, Tag, you're it.
No, don't do that. We want you here. All right, that wraps it up. If you're watching our video from Otherworld Computing, we'll still be here for a few minutes after. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
10 seconds.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Say goodnight, Craig.
Good night, Craig.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, and the show is over, but we're still on our video. And first I'm going to say goodnight to everybody in the chat room. And we'll hack out there. Okay. So we should be back tomorrow night. Hopefully everything will be fine. And we'll just see everybody. We'll just see you all tomorrow night. Anything else, Charles?
See you tomorrow night.
All right. So say goodnight.
Good night.